hasn't been grazed in a long time, and it's the corner of the Meaford tank range, so the tanks don't even go in there. And just even one side of this fence to the other side was a noticeable difference in what's growing there. Here's a forest, same Bayview escarpment, but the Bruce Trail has had people in to cut the land, the forest, am I correct on that? And so the farmers have, the loggers have come in and have been told to somewhat selectively clear the forest. I'm not so sure that they did a really good job of knocking stuff down. That's obviously not a tree that's good for lumber, and the firewood value of it isn't very much. So any loggers that I've had in have been instructed to cut stuff down and knock it right down even closer to the ground than this, so that it decays quickly and returns the nutrients. But logging is certainly possible. This is within 10 kilometers of here, one side of the road, the other side of the road, grazed, not grazed. Quite remarkable difference. Here's just on the west side of Mona Cliffs, where an old pine plantation. We need to thank Shelley Anderson and the others for planting so many trees. We wish now, and fortunately the Dufferin County Forest is making some efforts to rectify that. There are other places where forests can be used. As a diabetic, I'm not terribly in favor of maple syrup, but if it's ever put in front of me, I'll drink it. I'm going to very quickly go through. This is my first aid kit and repair kit after Sohail got a hold of it, of my other one. My other one was two that formed a bundle like that. And Sohail said, why do you have this? Why do you have that? Why do you have that? Why do you have two of that? Why do you need 25 pills? Take 5 pills. And so on. And that's how he cut that and a bunch of other things, 7 kilograms out of my pack. High fashion. Kathy made me this rain kilt. I use a poncho and the rain kilt. The bottom of my pants get wet, but I breathe and I don't sweat to death in a rain suit.
You were copying Sohail's kilt.
You copied Sohail's kilt. I wore it, yes. Men must be on a leash. I stayed with wonderful people and met people along the way, including Mavis, who was the only one who actually came out and stayed overnight with us. And we saw, along the way, one other person who was hiking and camping along the way. We called him 2-pack, or double pack, because his backpack was 70 pounds, 30 kilograms. Mine was 17 when I started and 12 when I finished. And in his right hand, he's carrying a 20-pound bag of food. He evidently made it at least, this is at Boyne River, he evidently made it at least as far as Wyerton, and maybe beyond that. So he was a tough bugger, but he was learning the hard way. Various outdoor ed colleagues that met along the way. The woman in the back here came with us for part of a day, but wasn't able to stay overnight. She's Heather, who works in the library here in town and is a volunteer in a lot of things in town, takes her Girl Guides out backpacking, and tonight, instead of being here with the Girl Guides, they're preparing for a backpacking trip. The fellow on the right carrying my backpack is Herb Hastings, who's the through hiker, who's the end-to-end hiker, who's on his 9th or 10th complete back and forth over the last number of years. He met up with us spontaneously. He knew roughly where we were, and he met us outside of Owen Sound, and he wanted to walk quickly. I'm a race walker, have been. I can walk quickly, but I didn't want to walk quickly with the backpack. And at one point he said, well, I'll take your pack. And I think he was thinking, why are these two guys going so quickly? I'm older than they are, and I'm blasting along. I showed him how to do the straps up, and he said, no, I don't need that. And I noticed after about 5 minutes, he put the belt back, and he was adjusting the straps. And I think after half an hour of carrying the pack, he was a little more appreciative of why, when you're starting at 6:30 in the morning and you're walking, you know, this is a fine enough pace to walk. You don't need to race along, and you still get there in the end. We saw other trail angels along the way. This woman was a teacher of our daughters. We met up with a group of Boys and Girl Scouts, guides, whatever they're called. I think there were 12 kids. One kid couldn't have his picture taken, so he's invisible in the back. And there were 7 adults with them, and we just loved to see that. They were walking 7 kilometers, and they had already walked 1 whole kilometer. But they had the most marvelous questions, and I will say that it's the 3 girls on the front on the left who just, bang, questions. So we talked with them for about half an hour. It was really quite lovely. And this is the group of local women that Kathy hikes with on Wednesday mornings along the Bruce Trail, and they joined us for a day. The wonderful Fitz Hostel, if you're ever in Lion's Head. It's not fancy, but the atmosphere is excellent. And I'm nearly at the end. In Tobermory, Kathy came to join me. The fellow on the left is an outdoor ed colleague who's now one of the chief naturalists at the National Park up outside of Tobermory. And he put this sign up, congratulations, Sohail and Tony in the park style. And in the national park they have this exhibit. This stone is the dolomite from Tobermory. That stone is the dolomite, same formation, from Queenston Heights. So you get to walk the Bruce Trail in just a second or so. And at that pace you can, you can afford to carry your dog. And Sohail at the northern terminus, well deserved. We had to retrace part of our steps. You've all driven over this. We had to do the Caledon section. You've all driven over this. This is where this is Highway 10 here, where there's it's right where Elton John lives on the other side. And this great big tunnel goes underneath. And there we are. We ended up at Spirit Tree, and it was absolutely a fine place to end up. Kathy got Sohail, I got Delta, a little tag saying 2nd Bruce Trail, June 2016. And
Can you take back the photo, the Delta's photo? He's licking me.
Yeah.
I can still feel that. So, many of the group of people supported us along the way. And the person who supported me the most along the whole way wore a sign, carried a sign at the Women's March in Toronto which said, I choose to stay with love. Which I quite like. Get out and hike. Who knows where the trail may lead you? The natural world is the largest sacred community to which we belong. To damage this community is to diminish our own existence. Thomas Berry, The Dream of the Earth, the Catholic priest and theologian and philosopher. And then another one of my favorite signs at one of the lovely little Bruce Trail signs, little brass or metal plaques that the Bruce Trail puts up. No, I don't know who Larry Mogg was, died in 2000. Always do a little bit more than you have to, which stuck with me. One of our favorite spots along the Bruce Trail. I took this sign, it's a boundary sign, and that's the boundary sign for Pinnacle Rocks. I have volunteered and been asked to be the land steward for the Pinnacle Rocks property. Collapore is over about where the light is over here. This is Duncan Crevices. This rocky edge slope along here and along this side of the creek is one of the largest populations of the fern, the heartstongue fern in North America, or in the Bruce Trail, which has the largest population of heartstongue fern in North America. And it's a gorgeous property. And it's one of the field trips that I'll invite you to come on to go and look at. So there's my, I can't believe I've done it this quickly. Sorry. So the 50-50 draw, there's more food there. My gear is back there. I'm going to go back there, and you're welcome to stay and donate and ask questions.
Before you do any of those things, or as you're doing that, if you can drop your dead coffee cups on the tray here, then you can start the water.
And somebody wants to go and help wash, that's great.
No, it's a machine, that's fine.
And then the chairs, and some people know how to put the chairs away. Thank you very much.
Anyone want more 50-50 tickets before I draw?
Oh, 50-50, just call my number, we'll deal with it.